y'all better leave that German woman alone, okay? Because she is not holding back. People are making videos about her, and she's doing reply videos to her video. There's one lovely lady decided it was a good idea to get on TikTok with a blonde weave on and try to talk about this woman, and it didn't work out well, because one of the lady was going in talking about how she was a 304 and blah blah blah, this, that, and the other. Then all of a sudden the video cut, and then Soraya Brooks, the lady from Germany, that's her name, she's married to a brother from Philadelphia, she popped up. And I mean, the first thing she talked about was the fact that you are here talking about me and you have a blonde weave on. And the thing you got to understand is that's the hair that doesn't grow out of black women's heads naturally, and everybody knows it. And so you're not even holding yourself. You don't even love yourself enough to wear your real hair. You're not even real yourself. And the thing is, and I've been telling, ladies, and I don't talk to women that much because it's like, that's not my area. I don't give dating advice, but, it looks pretty bad when your men, you're trying to imitate another woman, which makes you an imitation of the woman. And then your men just go out and get the women that you're trying to imitate, the long hair, the fair skin. That's why these ladies wear all this makeup, this lightning makeup. They look light-skinned, everything from the chin up, and the neck is dark. That's just, you're not gonna win this fight against these European women, and you're not gonna win this fight against the Colombian women. You're not gonna win the fight against the Thai women. But the problem with that European woman is she speaks English well, okay? She's in Europe. You're never gonna win that battle. And on top of that, what's gonna happen is the more you talk, the more you're gonna have some like open season on women around the world roasting y'all. And I want you, and the thing is, like, you ladies gotta remember, you picked this fight. The brothers was going overseas, enjoying themselves. Ladies found out about it. Then they decided they were gonna roast the men. Next thing, they decide they're gonna roast these women from these other countries. All the other countries. It's just not a fight that you can win, ladies. It's not a fight. You're gonna have to take this L. Either you're gonna compete for the men that you say you don't want to compete for, that you say are unworthy of you, or you're gonna lose them. And you're gonna get roasted. It's getting embarrassing at this point. Everything black men have been telling black women about themselves for the past 70 years, the weave, the loud, ratchet behavior. Now you got other people doing it. Man, you open yourself up for this, ladies. You open yourself up for this because you picked a fight with them. Now, the thing about Mrs. Brooks, she's been married for over 20 years to a brother from Philly. I believe it's from Philly. And if you listen to her, she talks about how they stayed in the United States for a couple years. And I actually had on my broadcast. And she was basically, and I didn't want to go too deep into their family life and everything, but she acknowledged a few things about living in what apparently was a dysfunctional African-American home dominated by women. And it wasn't a very appealing situation. And she talked about how things were said and how people talked and how they treated her husband. She also talked about how she witnessed a black woman emasculating a black boy, basically calling him out of his name, calling him the B word. And so you dealing with a woman who's had, not only is she married to a black man, but she's seeing firsthand the dysfunction of black America. And so she has inside knowledge on things that black men and black women have, for the most part, been hiding. So she's got ammo for days. And all that's going to happen is the more you go back at it with Mrs. Brooks, the more information is going to come out, and then you're going to have more men chiming in, more women chiming in. I've been telling y'all, if you keep this up, if they keep this up, this war of the world with the women of the world, it's just going to get so bad that brothers are not going to even want to be around black American women. It's going to be embarrassing. It's already men right now who've elevated themselves from their former condition growing up. They don't even want to be around their moms. I see it all the time. You see it at the college graduations. You see it at the professional school graduations. You got this ghetto ratchet mom, and she shows up to your college graduation around all your friends and their parents, and she just is ghetto, dressing like she going to the club as opposed to going to a formal event, talking loud, talking with food hanging out their mouth, just inappropriate. Now that's their own mothers. I see it. I see it all the time. When I'm interviewing people for jobs, maybe we'll meet their family members at some point or something like that, and they're embarrassed. I get it. And so it's just getting to the point now, it's just going to be a problem for all black women. You gotta understand, at this point, ladies, it's time to stand down. And there's really nothing they can do about it at this point, because they can't control themselves. They're so used to not being checked for their bad behavior. Now that you have a woman who is of a foreign nationality, and she got that long black hair, and she got those European features, and you all can say that she's not attractive as much as you want, but but the truth is she is attractive, especially a woman in her, and I'm assuming that she's in her 30s or early 40s, a mother, highly educated woman. She's everything you said that these foreign women weren't. You guys think that foreign women are just pushovers? This German woman is clearly not a pushover, and the fact of the matter is she's Turkish. And for you guys who don't know where Turkey is on the other side. You have Italy, you got Greece, and then you got Turkey right there. And those are people of color with a long, thousands of year history, a rich culture, rich heritage. So, you know, at the end of the day, she might be European, but she's not a woman that doesn't have backbone and doesn't have her own culture. And it's just the way I see it. You know, you're dealing with somebody who is not going to back down, and it's only going to get worse. And she's the type of woman that black women try to emulate, with the hair and the light skin and the sharp features. Black women oftentimes will, you know, try to make their makeup so they can have more European features. And I'm like, brothers, black men who love black women would prefer you in your natural state. The most beautiful state that a black woman can be in is her natural state. And I'm not saying coming out there with hair growing out your armpits, unshaved. I'm just saying you don't need to do all that. But when you do all that, people gonna call you, other women are gonna call you out for it. It's like, how are you talking about me and you trying to look like me? And irrespective of what black women say, sister, if you walking around with a weave on that does not mimic the hair that naturally grows out of your hair, you trying to look like another woman. It'd be no different than back when brothers had jerry curls and perms. You can't call yourself real and you walking around trying to be a recycled white man. It's cool to be your natural self, but when I look at this whole situation, it's like, why did y'all get these women from overseas started? And the thing is, because she's in Germany, you can't get at her. Ain't gonna be no pulling up. You dealing with a woman who's overseas, who speaks English, probably speaks multiple languages, and she has access to the internet just like you do. It's not going anywhere, and it's only gonna get worse, because all that's happening is you're drawing more attention to these foreign women, Clearly they're not pushovers. Clearly they have education, more education than a lot of American women. They have money, they have access to resources, they have culture. And it's just gonna make black men say, well, hell, let me let me go investigate. You draw more attention to it. If these lovely ladies of ours were smart, they would just be quiet. And shout out to everybody in the chat room. I know y'all in here, man. I'm over here in the car chilling, man. I had some errands to run, but I saw that response video and I said, man, I gotta say, I gotta let this out while the spirit hit me, you know. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, and all of this because you know, the brothers decided to exercise their options and go overseas. That's why we're dealing with this right now. And then the ladies couldn't take it. It just, their egos wouldn't allow them to accept the fact that there are women out there who desire black men. So now you're in a situation where you got yourself in a cat fight that you can't win. And on top of that, all you're doing is making a woman more famous and more popular and making her more money. So it's a win-win situation for her. You can't get at her man. You can't get at her. It's really nothing you could say. And y'all just getting whooped on, you know? And all of this could end if y'all would just, you know, start being better women. But instead of doing that, you rather fight with other women about why they somehow are deficient or defective because they want the black men that you say you don't want. But then the same black men you say you don't want, when they decide to go overseas and get some women that do want them, now you have a problem. It's just, it's goofy at this point. It's just silly. And you're dealing with a woman who has she has some inside knowledge of black folks and the dysfunction of the black community right now. It's just not a win, ladies. So Miss Brooks, carry on. Keep on taking care of that black man you got. I support any woman who takes care of her black man. I support any woman who takes a black man who's been mistreated and unloved, and she treats him well, and I love that, period. Like I tell y'all all the time, my preference is for brothers to marry women of African descent. But you'll be a damn fool if you passed up a woman who treats you with love, respect, and dignity and defends you. Oh man, that's a win right there, man. So shout out to that brother. Shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Brooks. I'll be watching the play-by-play. This is Uncle D.